Your cringe is a deep level of initiation into your soul's embodiment. The parts of yourself that make you cringe, the parts of other people that cause you to cringe, are direct messengers of places within yourself that you shame for simply just existing. And when you can hold space for this deep feeling, this cringy, crunchy, yucky, gross feeling, when you can hold space for that without shying away, without suppressing, without rejecting, without abandoning yourself, you pave the way towards deep, deep alchemization, transformation, transcendence, reintegration of these aspects of yourself. And I'm going to be hosting a masterclass on April 27th called Let Yourself Cringe. It's just a one-time 2-hour class where we're going to be diving deep into our shame, and we're going to be alchemizing it into empowerment. We're going to be transforming it into a deeper connection to source, to your creativity. Okay? It's going to be very transformational. That's going to be Sunday, April 27th. It's going to be right after the first day of my embodiment retreat, which is also going to be incredibly powerful. Okay, so the early bird tickets for the embodiment retreat are up now. You can access those until April 18th when the price goes up to regular price. And the Let Yourself Cringe Masterclass is just going to be one price. It's going to be $60 for a 2-hour course where we are going to be diving deeply into our shame and learning how to expand into it and alchemize it into power, into trust, into knowing who you are. Okay? So I hope to see you there. When we cringe, it is directly pointing inwards towards a place within ourselves that we have been shaming. And most of the time, it's internalized. We have been taught to shame these aspects of ourselves. And this directly takes us out of our authenticity and fragments us from the wholeness of our being. And it is only when we can step into this expansion of being able to hold these parts of ourselves without judgment can we transmute them and step through the portal they are offering to deeper soul embodiment, to a deeper level of knowing, a deeper connection with source wanting to stream through you through self-expression. There's a hair on my face. The frequencies that we came here to transmit and embody, the wholeness of your soul that you came here to deeply embody in all aspects of your life, cannot move through you when you are contracting, when you are holding back, when you are denying yourself any form of expression because you feel shame around it and you cringe at it and you want to shy away from that feeling, so you suppress. you constrict, you deny. This will only lead you into deeper realms of self-hatred, self-denial, a disconnect from source consciousness that wants to channel through you. When you begin working and co-creating with the divine, you are going to be asked to step into deeper ways of being that bring discomfort, because you have been so used to constricting and denying and suppressing your whole life that when you are asked to expand, it feels uncomfortable, it feels unsafe. But this is the work. Allowing yourself permission to cringe is you holding space for the aspects of yourself that you have been taught to shame or deny. When you can also hold space for cringe at other people, but with the awareness of knowing what it is, it's simply just a mirror reflection to you of aspects within yourself that you are shaming, that you are denying, that you are suppressing. When you can expand to hold that, you are creating space for more divine love to stream through and out of you in ways of creation and expression that was previously closed off to you by your own doing, by your own contraction. When we follow the divine, when we begin co-creating with divinity, we are now being asked to work outside of time, to no longer put so much weight on the external metrics that this society has taught us to extract our value from, to go fully within and trust that everything that is being presented to us in the present moment is a gift, and it is leading us into a deeper embodied state of being, which is really what we're asking for when we are asking for the divine to guide us, when we are asking for divine support, when we are asking for the divine to show us what we're missing. When we start following the divine, we must be comfortable with stepping out of the constructs of space and time and begin understanding that the work that we are doing is quantum. The work that we are doing does not necessarily always have to do with physical action, physical work. A lot of what we are doing doesn't necessarily look like work to mainstream society, right? And when we have those projections placed upon us, perhaps people in our life who don't understand what we're doing, who don't really understand what we're following or why we're following it, or why we wouldn't just make their life easier by following the very patriarchal blueprint of success, the very masculine blueprint of success. Why can't we just make their lives easier and our lives easier by following the blueprint that's already been laid out before us that guarantees a comfortable life? Yeah, you might not be completely fulfilled in your soul, but at least you know that you're going to be getting by. At least you know that you're going to have money to pay your bills. But to you, that's not good enough. To me, that's not good enough. I crave something deeper. We crave something deeper. And on some level, every human being does. But it's just, do we have the bravery to actually follow the divine? Do we have the bravery to face the external pressure and fear that this blueprint of patriarchal, what's the other word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. The blueprint so far in society of what success looks like. Are we courageous enough to step outside of that because of our strong faith in the divinity that is guiding us? Are we willing to dig deep and trust that all of the inner work that we are being faced with, all of the shame, all of the loss, all of the lack, everything that we are being faced with is guiding us deeper into this soul embodied state that we truly crave? Because at the end of the day, and I've known this my entire life on some level, I just didn't always know what it was. I have known that what this world was seeming to offer me was not good enough. It was not what I wanted. And there was no part of me that was going to conform. That has never been in me. There was no part of me that was ever going to conform, whether it be in public school, or you're supposed to go to college after that, or then you go and do this, and then you go and do that, and you're supposed to have all these activities that you do, and you're blah, blah, blah. Everything that is being thrusted upon us and attempting to force us to conform into this blueprint that was created in order to keep us disempowered, in order to keep us out of our sovereignty, and in order to keep us disconnected from source and from our creative self-expression. There is something deep within me that has been guiding me my entire life, that I have been holding out for something. And for a long time, I had no clue what I was holding out for. I thought something was wrong with me. I shamed myself for not wanting to participate in school. I shamed myself for dropping out of college. I shamed myself for not following the blueprint that looked like everyone else was following so easily. I was shamed. I was told there was something wrong with me because I was not smart enough. I was not good enough. And I'm coming to understand that there has just always been this deep knowing within me that there is more. And I have been following that feeling my entire life, even if I didn't know it. And the deeper I get into this surrendered state with the divine, with the mother, with source energy, the deeper into a surrendered state, the deeper embodied I become, the more clearly I can see what I have been being guided towards my entire life. And because I have this clarity now around what was going on my whole life, what was wrong with me my whole life, because now I have this deeper clarity surrounding that, I'm clearly able to see everything that I shame about myself, everything that I think I lack, everything that causes me to believe that I'm not good enough. It's all distortion. It's all illusion, and it's all been placed on me from the external world in order to force me into submission, attempting to force me into this conformity that is going on in the external. You go to school, then you go to college, then you get a job, then you invest in a 401k, and then you get married and you have kids and you buy a house, and you do all of these things, this blueprint that has been laid out in front of us, that we've been taught that if we just conform to this blueprint, we'll do good enough. We'll manage to get by. Okay, then tell me why in our society everyone is depressed, anxious, unwell, angry, lacking any type of motivation or drive for their own creativity. It's not working. It's because the blueprint is not working. The blueprint is a distortion. It has been a false matrix that has been attempting to entrap us and encode us in its gross frequency to keep us controllable, to keep us small. And when we choose to step out of that when we courageously choose to face every single one of our limitations and no longer place blame on the outside, no longer place blame on the school system, on the government, on our parents, on anybody outside of ourselves, and just take full ownership for adopting these limitations, for adopting these illusions, even if it felt like they were thrust upon us. We were born into this world as a blank slate of a human template, and then all of these illusions and distortions and different matrices were like thrust upon us, right? But before we incarnated here, we knew that was going to happen. We knew, and we said, oh yeah, I'm going to go down there, and you know what, I'm going to take on all of that programming. I'm going to take on the illusion, and I'm going to break fucking free. Are you here to break fucking free? Or are you here to further conform to your own shame and cringe and unworthiness? What are you about? Truly. And are you brave enough to follow through? Are you brave enough to follow through on the guidance you are currently being given by the divine? Ask and you shall receive. We just don't always like what we hear. And so we pretend that we don't. Oh, that's not really coming from God. Obviously, he wouldn't want me to do that. He, it, the mother, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, Source would never ask me to do something like that. I asked for freedom. I asked for expansion. I asked for wealth. And now I'm being faced with feelings of cringe and shame and lack and like we try to dodge it like it's another hurdle, another freaking missile being launched at us. But actually, we can stop the missile in its tracks and rearrange the molecular structure into whatever we want it to be. We can dissolve it. But we must be brave enough to first stand in front of it, watching it come towards us like it's trying to kill us, and not dodge, but stand firm in our knowing, in our empowerment, stand firmly in our relationship with the divinity inside of us. Right? Like, you are so courageous and so brave for being here on this planet at this time. You are a freaking badass for choosing, for knowing all of the limitations that were going to be placed on you and saying, oh yeah, I can break free of that. Like, what? You are a freaking warrior that came here to dispel all illusion with your mind, with your awareness, with your focused intention and aligned action. There is nothing wrong with you. And all of the things that you think are wrong with you are distortions asking for you to bravely and courageously hold space for them so then they can become a portal into the highest version of yourself, a portal into the flip side of the coin. Okay? I'm very excited for the coming months. I have so much to birth. I have so much to offer and bring to you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.